Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is a channel where I talk about the art on Pokemon cards in the Pokemon trading card game. And today's video is about Night Wanderer, released on June the 7th in Japan in 2024, and is going to be the basis of the special set in English, Shrouded Fable, which comes out at the beginning of August and is one of these special sets without booster boxes. Pokemon are having a very bad year. Some bad decisions being made. I mean, we started off with Shiny Treasure at the beginning of the year or the end of last year, turning into Paldean Fates in English, and I said at the time it was an absolute disaster of a set, very ill-conceived, heavy on the baby shinies and not much really to go for, and I was proved right. I mean, its price at release was all hype and it was £100 a booster box, and it's currently, people can't give it away. I've seen boxes of the Japanese one down at sub £30 now, incredibly below market value. So we have another one here. This is Night Wanderer, Shrouded Fable, and it's a bit of a disaster, really. I really don't know what they're doing. It's centered around these little monsters. Personally, I have a personal relationship with this because it's the DLC of the Scarlet and Violet, and I found it so impossible to play on my Switch. It was the lagginess of the graphics, having played the smoothness of things. I'm playing Elden Ring at the moment, and obviously that's much smoother, but even things on the Switch like Tears of the Kingdom don't distress me in the way that the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and the DLC especially, it seemed, were just so laggy. It made me feel nauseous to play it, the visual reaction to it. Anyway, I also thought it was an absolutely appallingly poor story. So that's my personal opinion. I know other people like it, but I don't think these three are well designed or interesting. And that thing, Petrant, no, I'm sorry. I think it's just awful. I can't warm to it. I've read all the lore. I haven't actually found it in the game because I had to give the game up before I got to that point. Anyway, doesn't matter. That's my negative about the Pokemon that are featured in this. But that doesn't mean that you can't make a good set. So here is the set. And let's see, what can I say about it? It's missing an awful lot of the big name artists, if not all. I mean, of the old school, we've got a Kimura, we've got a Kawaii later on. I mean, there's no Saito, I don't think. There's no Himeno. There's no Arita. Lots of the established artists are missing in action for this set. So there are a lot of the newer artists that they've been using in the Scarlet and Violet block, and there's a couple of new ones as well debuting in this set. So I'm going to. There's also, before we go on to the individual cards, there's no star Pokemon in here. There's no real A-list Pokemon. There are some. Well, there's some A-. I mean, Houndoom, I guess, is a popular enough Pokemon. Sylveon is, and there's an Eevee, and there's a Meowth. But really, there are very few of the big names of Pokemon. There's a lot of D-listers going on in this. So it's got a real character of being a forgettable set of passing time. So I can't understand why they've chosen this set to be the special summer set in English, as if it's got something special going for it, because it really hasn't. Enough time wasted on that. Let's actually look at some cards. So Kimura has done a Joltik. That's very nice, but it's not going to blow my mind. Let's bring this in. Actually, I'm going to just lower the camera so we can look at cards a little bit more close to. And let me sit down. Okay. Let us get going. What do I want to talk about? Well, people like this Rowlet. I mean, well, I think it's partly because people like Rowlet. And it's a tidy little card. It's by Yoshimi Miyashi. It's cute. It's not really my thing. Let's see. Dom did this Decidueye. Now, I think that is a beautifully put together composition. Let's have a little look. I'm sorry, they're all in frosted sleeves. I shouldn't have put them in frosted sleeves. But yeah, I think compositionally that's a very strong card with the arrow coming through to the corner of the card. So that gets a good mark from me. Rend has done this Houndour, and I do like Rend's work a lot. This is pleasant enough. It's clean. It's very, it's a nicely done card. Again, I don't have any problems with it. But it's not a card that wows me. But it's nice enough. Right, this is Burari, and Burari has done the Houndoom. It's okay. Yeah. The other card Burari has done for this set is the SAR of Cassiopeia, which I do like. Again, not wow, but I do like it. I haven't got it, so I can't show you that one. I'm not going to spend the £40 or whatever to get it, because it just doesn't appeal to me that much. Right, we've got Yu Oka, who I collect, doing Seadra here, and I think it's okay. It's competently done, but it's a little bit cluttered for my. I think there's too much stuff, and it's too close to the camera. It's a nicely done card. Yes, Shinji Kanda has done the Ancient and Future Moths. I don't like Shinji Kanda. I know everyone else loves Shinji Kanda's work. It's a little bit like Aboriginal art, that, actually. It's okay. It's just not my thing. I thought this Seadra by Toriufu was actually quite good for an EX. It's got a little bit of personality to it, but, you know, it's EXs. Right, let's bring this out a bit. What did I like here? Well, I always find that Weavile and Sneasel and Weavile look odd when they're the water or the ice type rather than being dark cards. This one is by Aspara, who I love. I think it's actually a very nicely done card. It would have worked better with as a dark card. I think the blue is too light for the heavy shadowing, the menace of Weavile. But actually, if you look at the card and spend a bit of time just looking at it, that's brilliantly painted. And I like the placement of Weavile, you know, right up close to the thing, and you don't see the whole image. It's a lot of drama. Very, very nice piece of artwork. The only psychic cards that interest me are, well, I collect Matazo. I don't like Cresselia as a Pokemon, as a design. I think it's ridiculous looking Pokemon. It's a well painted card, but it's not one that's going to thrill me. Whereas this, Kuroimori has done the Sylveon. I thought this was excellent. I like Sylveon. I don't hugely like Sylveon. I like Sylveon. I think that's a really nicely done card. And it's very Kuroimori. I mean, they've already developed, in the few cards they've done, a very distinctive style. This Toxicroak I did like. This is by Aliyah Chen. And, yeah. Sorry, not Toxicroak, Croagunk. It's their first card. They haven't done a card before, and I actually think that's one of the strongest cards in the set. I don't like the Pokemon. The shadow lighting of the leaves, very strong. Like that a lot. So, yeah, I think that's a very promising start to their illustration career. I hope they do some more cards soon. So I will be keen to see what they do. By pulling it so far in, if I'm not talking about the card, you don't see the card. So maybe I should do that and just hold them up to the camera. So the Blood Moon Ursaluna is by Suichiro Gojima, I think. It's dramatic. It's a little bit like the Weavile. It's okay. Okay, it's the best I can do. This another Shinji Kanda here of the Slitherwing, and I this one I can't warm to at all. I think that's just that's, to me, that's bad art. It's just awful. It's childish. It's like something demented. I don't like it, but I know people do, so I am the one at fault in that. What else do I like here? I like Rika's artwork. I don't like Absol particularly. I think Absol's a bit fey. Yeah. But Rika does tend to do these very skinny Pokemon. It's okay. There's an awful lot of it's okay in this set. Nagamisa's done a Zoroark. It's okay. Akagi has done this Malamar. Akagi did that very colourful SAR of Greninja that from set 4 last. It's okay. It's an awful lot of okay here. I mean, even Shina Nahara here, who I adore. I think they're one of the most talented artists that Pokemon have commissioned in their entire history. It's very good. Yveltal is a dramatic Pokemon. It's okay. Right. Let's go to the next page. What can I talk about here? Right. Well, we like Kawaii. And Kawaii has done Copperajah, and it's okay. It's standing there. It's got a Kawaii type background and color pattern. You know, it's okay. It's okay. Right. Okay. Let's get. I've got to find something. Well, here we go. Okay. My favorite card in the set. Uninori's done Fracture. I say it's my favorite card in the set. I haven't actually thought that through, but it's certainly one of the stronger cards. I think Uninori is just one of the great new artists. Such a strong style and very talented artist. So this is a great card. There you go. Better than okay. Right, we've got another new artist here, and goodness me, who is it? It's Tsuyoshi Nagano. I don't like Haxorus as a design. I like Fracture and Axew, but I think Haxorus is pretty stupid looking. Well, we're back to okay, I'm afraid. Sui, one of the oldest artists in the set. Yeah, Sui. It is so weird that they just have not commissioned any of the big names. I think that's really nice. I'm not always a fan of Sui's artwork, but looks a little bit like it's been smoking something. But yeah, that's decent artwork. I like that. Right. Okie dokie. No, okie dokie. No, we're not talking about okie dokie. I like the Persian, actually. The Persian was by NC Empire. Reminds me of Leyndell, capital city of Elden Ring. Yeah, that's that nice piece of graphic design. I like the bold outlines especially, and the flow of it, straight up and down. And yeah, that's really a compositionally very strong card. This was okay. An under the radar artist. They've done quite a lot of cards now, and I mean quite a lot more than you'd expect. Ryomo Uratsuka. I actually quite like this. It's quite naive and simple, but it's actually quite nice. But then I'm biased. It's Stuffle. You can't do bad Stuffle. The Eevee. Oh yeah, I want to talk about the Eevee. This is by Susuma Maya. I don't particularly like it, but I've just pulled out all the other cards they've done. This is all the cards they've done. So they did the Swanna recently, which is forgettable somewhat. very nice picnicker that they did that was a promo in English, I think, but it's in the Battle Academy in Japanese. That's very nicely done. And then they did this very nice art rare pair of Deerling and Swordsback. So these are very strong cards. This Eevee, I don't like the colours in it. The pink and the green just clash horribly for me. Actually, the pink and the green and the brown of Eevee, it's just they're not a nice combination of colours for my eye. The Beware. The Beware is by Takeshi Nakamura. And Takeshi Nakamura has done about 9 cards now. And they started off with the Tauros in 151, the regular Tauros. And I didn't like that at all. I didn't like any. I haven't really warmed to any of their cards until this. I think this is very well done. But again, it's bias because I love Beware. But I still think, even if I didn't love Beware, it's a nicely done card. I like the light just catching the edge. Very, very clean, very, very well conceived card. I liked all 4 of the these things, the supporter cards, that were all done by the same artists that then were given. So you've got Gosan doing Zerosik here. So they commissioned Gosan to do both cards, and I think that's very nice. And Akitsu, who obviously, if you've seen my channel, I am an obsessive about Akitsu's artwork, was given Janine. Now, people have criticised this, and they go after her for her forehead being so huge. Now, that's not Akitsu's fault. That's how the character has been designed. It is unfortunate that she's hydrocephalic, but we all have disabilities, and we're all loved by God, allegedly. I'm not religious. Furusawa was given Cassiopeia. I haven't got the full art of that, I'm afraid, but that's very nice. I mean, Furusawa's great. And Hungry Clicker was given Colress, and that's very good. And I haven't got the full art of that, I'm afraid. So I'm missing a couple of... I'm not missing them. I'm just waiting for them to come from Japan. They're on order. A couple of the pink A-specs. So let's... Final bit of the video is looking at the 12 art rares, which is usually, you know, one of the highlights of the set. But in this case, it's basically the only thing that anyone cares about in this set. And... they're not particularly strong, in my opinion. I think there are... I mean, people like this Houndoom, which is by Taiga Kasai, who did the Greninja that was a runner-up in the previous illustration contest, the 2022 illustration contest. And they did a Breloom as well. It's a nice piece of design, very dark, very little colour in it. It's interesting. It's not bad. Komatsu has done the Horsey. They previously did things like the Machamp V carrying all the stuff through the the one that took off and everyone wanted it, even though I don't like it. And the Alakazam SAR from 151, which was sitting in the kitchen doing something weird. Yeah, it's okay. The James Turner line people are raving about. I do understand kind of why. It's just not my thing. Rend has done an absolutely beautiful piece of Rend for the Zorua. I rate this card very highly. Got little darkness symbols on the end of the whatever those are, the struts of the roof. Sotoma, who is one of my favourite of the new generation of artists, can't get it out, has done Cresselia. Now, I adore Sotoma. I really do not adore Cresselia. And what they've done is quite interesting here. They've gone for a very pastel pale. It's like light reflecting on icebergs or something. Yeah, interesting card. But I'm not a fan of the Tapu Bulu by Ikeda Saki, who is a new artist as well. They did the Dust Skull. This Dust Skull here as well. This reminds me of Candy News sitting alone in the VIP. It's just dreary, depressing, and lonely. I don't. There's nothing happening. Mina Nakai has done a Kuffont, and I don't like Kuffont as a design. I think it's bleh. But Mina Nakai's style is nice, but that card is somewhat forgettable to me. Minaminame Take has done Fracture, who I do love. I think this is probably my favourite of all the ARs here. I think that's just so cute, and I love their style. It's a little bit reminiscent of the Okucheke Sneasler. I guess cliffs and stuff, but it's also in the Art Deco-y blocking out of the colours and stuff. Yeah, that's interesting. People like this Persian by Whisker. I don't think it's that interesting. Okay, so Persian's looking out the window and we can see its reflection. Looks like a scene from Ratatouille or something, looking over Paris. It's okay. It's okay. And finally, Takeshi Nakamura has done this Beware, which is very dramatic. And yes, it's Beware, and I love Beware. I think that's a strong card. Yeah. Okay, I can't say it's not a good card. It is a good card. One of the better cards in the set. So, yeah, overall, really, really disappointing set. And I suspect, don't quote me on it, well, you can if you want, but I think when it comes out in English as Shrouded Fable, if there's nothing else new, if there's nothing else to encourage people to buy it, this is going to bomb really badly for a holiday set. It's just not interesting enough. There are some playable cards in it, and people will want the cards for Worlds. It's heavy on the dark because Gardevoir EX is just destroying everybody at the moment. So they're looking for counters. Yeah, I don't see it. I just don't. There isn't anything in here that is going to change how I feel about it. So that's a little bit long-winded, perhaps. I'm sorry for that. But that is my thoughts on a really disappointing set.